Welcome to a new unit of the DT2 MOOC. I am Agata Hidalgo, European Affairs Coordinator at Digitale, and today I have the pleasure to talk with three very distinguished guests. Jérôme de Fackenberg, Innovation Director at Cdiscount, James Reboul, Director of Development, Performance and Innovation of the Supply Chain, also Cdiscount, and Clément Berger-Lefranc, CEO of Ownest. Thank you all for being with us today. Cdiscount is a leading e-commerce platform, while Ownest is a blockchain-based supply chain traceability solution. These two companies represent two very different yet complementary worlds, that of corporations and that of startups. Our goal today is to understand how to capitalize on this synergy. Jérôme, when and why has Cdiscount started to collaborate with startups?
Actually, we decided to create this innovation unit 5 years ago. And at the very beginning of the creation of our direction, it was totally new for us. And very quickly, we decided to launch different projects around innovation, and collaboration with startups was one of them. About incremental innovation first and adjacent innovation after. Where we realized that R&D was not in our DNA. Generally, it is the case in the retail field. Then we decided to scout all the startups we can, according to our needs and the needs of our value chain, from the supply chain to CRM. And actually, it works not too bad because we are able to deliver between 40 and 50 POC per year and sign a final contract with 70% of them. In order to reach those figures, we need to be very close from all the ecosystem and meet approximately I would say 200 and 300 startups per year. This program is called POC Factory.
Sounds like a super efficient initiative. And how do you concretely structure your collaboration with startups at Cdiscount on a day-to-day basis?
We decided to create a funnel for our different services. It means that approximately we have between 15 and 20 different funnels with a pipe of solution brick by the startups. And we are aware that the different challenges in each part of the company, then we try to match the needs with the startup offer actually, And we have a method which is quite simple in 6 or 7 steps. The first one obviously is identification. The second one is about the meeting with the startups. The third one is about how to frame the opportunity. After we try to develop something, we do the POC with the startups. And finally, is the time for assessment and to say, okay, we are able to deploy or not.
Turning to James, what kind of process did you put in place to select Ownest?
Supply Chain Open Innovation Program is an illustration of a vertical approach. Our objective is to develop disruptive technologies and have a first look and use on the supply chain of the solution of the supply chain 4.0. The key is to get to the startup rhythm. In case of a product ready to use, we test and deploy fastly with our POC factory. If the idea needs to be co-designed, we accelerate startups in our incubator. In parallel, we share R&D with expert partners. Dealing with Ownest specific case, we firstly identified our pain point in our business, tracking parcels to improve quality, costs, and lead times. Then we selected solutions, including Ownest. Eventually, we integrated Ownest in our accelerator program. We continuously challenged the business model, operations, and technology. Ownest was a great success in the blockchain use case. The critical point for you to take away is the use of blockchain was not a priority for us. We demonstrated that it was just the best way to solve our pain point.
So what has been the key to your collaboration with Ownest?
Ownest and the blockchain technology allow to create a tracker of responsibility for each parcel. The digital tracker is unique, unforgeable, and transferable. Thus, each time a parcel is physically transferred, operators will also transfer the responsibility tracker. Our incubation objective was to adapt the existing Ownest model to the supply chain needs of an e-retailer with very high volumes, with ultra-fast execution, and a high number of players. The success of the collaboration between the two parts lies in a win-win relationship between the startup and the large company, which are based on the mutual trust in each other capabilities. So this is the first point. Secondly, the speed of execution and the pragmatism. And third, a real vision of the future of the product and its business model. In summary, we have broken down a very large program, a very large transformation program into a functional batches and with a very regular go, no-go strategy. We therefore made more than 100,000 transfers of responsibility between more than 700 users. And that made possible the design of the final tracking solution tailored for more than 5 million transfers per year.
Clement, we've been talking about your company so far, so now over to you. What has been the added value for you to collaborate with a corporation like Cdiscount?
The added value is enormous if there are trust between the startup and the company. It was James said. It's in the fact with Cdiscount. This means that we were able to talk about the real problem and issues on their business and its logistics. And when we have the real issues, we can find real solutions. And when the real solutions works, you improve your own solution. And this is the greatest added value of your collaboration with Cdiscount. A second added value is now at the level of exposure. We are highlighted everywhere, and this is a big asset for a startup like us. Collaborating with a company like Cdiscount with a high-tech blockchain solution is a great proof of the solution capacity and also of the team capabilities to develop on different environments.
What have been the operational challenges that you and your team had to face to collaborate with an established company like Cdiscount?
Cdiscount, it's a big logistic, and there is a lot of details and process with many actors were evolving around this process. At this level, fail, it's not an option. You must report on the ground very quickly for each process or actor you added value. And you had to offer turnkey solutions, easy to deploy, and it was the case with Ownest. Another challenge is time. The new solutions bring a new way of doing logistics. With Ownest, there are 20 types of return on investments that you will be able to observe from the first weeks of test deployments. That is to say, you have to give your clients time to test, observe the reality on the ground, understand the impact, and decide to go to another scale. It's the same problem for all the companies, but with Cdiscount, we are lucky because they have the agility for that, and they are faster with the warehouse accelerator.
I have one concluding question for all of you. What is, in your opinion, the most important thing that a startup and a corporation that want to collaborate should keep in mind? Jérôme, let's start with you.
Startups and corporates have to collaborate together, this is obvious. And they have to consider that the R is the startups and the corporate is the G, because the corporate is able to bring a lot of things to the startup development. Then by considering that two aspects, you are able to reach a big success by being committing together.
What about you, James?
The critical point is to get on the time scale of the startup and not to turn it into a design office. And a transparent relationship between the two parts allows the duo to focus on reducing the time to market. And this is essential for both parts.
Last but not least, Clément.
Startup and corporations have very different stakes and issues, but you have to keep in mind, for me, most of the time, it's really easy to solve a startup issue for a company, a corporate, and conversely, it's really easy to the startup to solve the business challenge of the corporate. In this kind of collaboration, the win-win is absolutely possible.
And I confirm.
Well, that's really a feedback from the ground that's giving surely some inspiration for other startups and corporations out there in Europe who might be wanting to start to collaborate. And we encourage them to do so for the sake of innovation in Europe and for the sake of startups. Thank you so much, the three of you, for your insights. And to our audience at home, I can only just say, see you for the next MOOC unit. Thank you.